Welcome back. We're jumping right into a deep dive on a really critical incident, a major shutdown at one of the world's biggest steel producers.
We are, and we're going to be looking at this through our entirely safe lens, really focusing on the safety and, well, the consequences.
Exactly. Our mission today is to unpack the shutdown of Nippon Steel at its Muroran mill in Hokkaido.
We're going to analyze that sequence of events, the potential causes, and what it all means, not just for the markets, but for anyone who follows industrial risk.
Okay, so let's get into the timeline. The incident itself happened early on December 1st, a fire.
A fire, right. And specifically, it hit the mill's hot blast stove.
And let's be clear, that's not just some minor component. This is absolutely central to the whole operation, isn't it?
It's the heart of the blast furnace, really. It superheats the air you need to make iron. If it fails, the whole production line, it just stops, dead in the water.
But here's the part that really stood out to me from the sources, the context.
The context is everything.
They had just brought that furnace back online. We're talking late November.
Right. And why had it been offline? They were busy for weeks repairing damage from a completely different incident.
A steel slag leak that happened back in September.
Exactly. So you've got this major leak, which requires a huge repair, a slow cool down, a careful reheat.
And then almost immediately after they get it running again, boom, a fire in a critical heating system.
I mean, we're not looking at two random accidents here, are we? This is where an entirely safe investigation gets really interesting.
It feels like a classic cascading failure, one event making the next one more likely.
You have to ask the question. That first leak, the slag leak, it must have caused immense thermal and structural stress.
So was the subsequent repair enough? Or, and this is the big question, was the rush to restore operational uptime? Did that pressure create this new point of failure?
That's what it points to, a compromised system being pushed back into service too quickly, perhaps.
Okay, so let's shift to the consequences, the market impact. This mill has a single blast furnace.
A single furnace, but it is a big one. It's capable of putting out 1.24 million tons of crude steel a year.
That's a huge number. And yet the sources also say that Japan's overall crude steel demand was already projected to fall in that period by about 2.4%.
Right, so on the surface, you might think, okay, demand is soft, maybe this shutdown isn't that big a deal for the market.
But that would miss the point completely.
It would, because the thing is, you have to look at who this mill supplies.
And its primary customers are the carmakers.
Exactly, and their demand recovery was already, seen as unlikely to be strong. So for them, in an already tough market.
Their specific dedicated supply line just vanishes overnight.
It transforms a challenging market outlook into an immediate acute supply crisis for a key manufacturing sector. It just made a bad situation much, much worse for them.
So I think the key takeaway for you listening at home isn't just about the fire or the big tonnage number.
Yep.
It's recognizing that structural integrity, the kind that was almost certainly compromised in that September slag leak, is just non-negotiable.
And that the most critical time for stringent safety checks is right after a major repair, right when the pressure is highest, to get things moving again.
Which brings us to a final thought, and this really fits the entirely safe premise.
It's the question we should always ask.
Yeah.
Considering the immense pressure on the company to get that capacity back online, what role did that push for operational uptime play in creating this new failure?
It's that link between business pressure and mechanical failure. Something to think about the next time you're evaluating industrial risk reporting.